I didn't want to make this video today. I really didn't. Versus the YouTube stuff, like the AuthorTube and BookTube, I actually wanted to work on something else, but this has been grinding my gears for the longest time. And that would be what Wattapad is to me. Wattapad is essentially just a fancier way to say Tumblr. A lot of the times people go to me and like, oh, well, why don't you use Wattapad? Or people would suggest posting to Wattapad. And the reason why I don't like posting to Wattapad is I go on there and a lot of the content is just fanfics, cheesy young adult love romance novels, and just kind of weird mishposh of content. And I just don't feel like posting my novels over there. And I fear posting them over there that someone will possibly take it and paste it and be like, oh, this is mine. That is why I mostly use it for the short stories that I don't care about. And that give or take, is not bad, that I don't care about them, I mean. I just don't see them getting any praise or being really big. So I just post them over there. So the only two I have over there currently, it's like I have my creative writing flash fiction just over there. I still don't think I've made it public. I think it's still locked to private because I just threw it up real quick to save it somewhere. And then there's also my Tales from the Basement storyline, which is basically all the it's like a biopic of all the D&D stories I've done and have run into problems and had some funny stories to tell from them, and I keep updating that every time I do D&D. I'm still updating it. I still have stories I have to type out on it, but I just been focused more on finishing Velocity, getting that done for the Flux trilogy, getting that whole thing done, getting Flux started on publication, and really still Relativity is just editing it. I'm just sitting, just waiting, because I want to get Flux done and out the door before I can even start cleaning up Relativity, because I know that's going to be a big giant chore. There's also like Fantasy War I put on hold because it's just a real big mess I need to clean up, and then I started a couple other ideas that I might just switch over to constantly between Fantasy War and them. So I want to talk on this one why I really don't like Wattapad mostly, and that's just from the mere fact that I just don't trust the platform. I definitely don't like the community, and a lot of things is when it comes down to a community, I've realized it's like if the more welcoming it is, the better you'll feel about it. And this comes from like years of just jumping in and out of Discord groups trying to find a good community of people to play games with. So the one thing that bothers me about Wattapad is I go to the community forums and I try to talk to people about books, but it seems like there's always that 1% swoops in and just ruins it, or nobody is interested in talking. So I just kind of stay away from that. And Wattapad slowly is turning into like my Reddit. I don't want to say I have a Reddit page because I really don't have a Reddit page. But I mean, when I go to Reddit, it's like when you look for something on Reddit, it's usually a bunch of people being assholes to each other. And comparing Wattapad's community to what I have on Twitter, I mean, I have more fun tweeting at people advice than I have fucking trying to talk to someone on Wattapad. And that's another reason why I don't like Wattapad, is the community over there drives me insane to at least my ends, because I can't stand how obnoxious some people can be on there, or self-absorbed. And I'm just trying to, get my foot in the door and talk to other people. I would really like to talk to people about my books and talk to people about writing in general, because there are so many problems with the writing community that, people do have anxiety issues or self-doubt about their work, and I'd rather talk to them about that issue versus my issue with my work, which is, even though I have self-doubt on my work, I don't view my work as horrible. And that's like, oh, well, you just have the, the glasses on and you believe yours is the best of the best. No, I don't. I really, if anything, I think that my books are okay. I think they're worth picking up and reading and then putting down. Don't even believe that I have a chance at getting, tens of thousands of readers. A few readers, fine, sure. But I have more self-doubt in my skill than the story. And I never hold my story accountable for it being bad. Because there's no possible way you can hold yourself accountable for the story, because a lot of stories have already been retold, rehashed, and all of that. You have to, and the main thing I keep telling people right now on Twitter is you have to really focus on your characters, because if your characters fail, your story will fail. Because nobody picks up a book to read about the environment or the plot. They really pick up the story because they want to follow these characters through the plot, through the setting, and they want to experience the story that you are telling through your characters. If you fail that, then you really don't have a good story. That's how I look at it. And my stories, I do tell my characters pretty well. I do have good dialogue to tell the story through my characters. And I just feel that, if you have that anxiety issue and all that, you could talk, at least with me, you could talk to me about it, and I'd figure out a way for you to get through that situation. But with taking something like that and going to Wattapad, it's like Wattapad, nobody cares. It's like, my book comes first, yours comes second. I do like the mechanics they have where you can go there and read anybody's work, but a lot of the work I look at, I don't want to read. And it's nothing against the writings, it's just when you try to upsell me a book or you try to pitch me a story, I'm very picky in the sense of I like to read science fiction. I like to read some crazy adventure story, but I mean, when it comes down to it, I don't like touching young adult romance novels. I can't stand it. And it's not because I'm a guy. It's just I can't stand the concept of writing a romance novel, because I don't really enjoy writing romance, nor do I know what romance is, because that is just a whole can of worms. But nevertheless, I enjoy reading like Ernest Clyde doing the Ready Player One. I enjoy the 80s feel to it. I know it's kind of cliched that there's like paragraphs upon paragraphs about stuff like, oh, did you know about this 80s thing? Here you go. Here's all the information for it. Like, I understand like how bad that was, and especially in the middle of Ready Player One, it really did kind of piss me off because it was just so slow, and I had to like drudge through it just to get to the end. But I enjoy stuff like, Do Sheep's Dream of Electric Sheep is a good one. I like to pick up once in a while and try to read. Time Machine is a classic that I enjoy to pick up once in a while and try to read. Growing up in high school, I read like the Hunger Games because those were popular when I was in high school, which was way back then. So I picked those up. I enjoyed the point of view, but I didn't like the writing style because a lot of times it would cross between character dialogue and Katniss's thoughts, and it just drove me insane. And I also enjoyed reading, the Mass Effect novels by Drew. I think he's the only one that actually got a decent idea of the Mass Effect stuff, because you read, at least I believe he did Retribution, Revelations, and Ascension, which were the main three I think he did, because the one after Retribution was the one that I think Will did, and that one ruined a lot. So if you were like a fan of like Mass Effect, you would pick these up. And like Revelations was basically a prologue to Mass Effect, which set up Anderson's character, and God, I forget that Torian's name now because it's just so long. But like I got interested in those because I was fans of the book or fans of the game, and I wanted to know more about the universe. I never had a chance to pick up Gears of War's books or Halo's books. I'm still trying to get through Game of Thrones. It's like pulling teeth for me because I have a hard time reading because I can't really read. And that's how I grew up learning. I think I said that in like the first episode of this channel. There's also, what was it? The Witcher series is kind of hit or miss right now for me because I want to pick them up and read it, but at the same time, I'm trying to get into the games, and the first game's controls on PC are just absolute horseshit. Like, I don't understand why people appraise this game, especially for the first one. I know people started picking it up towards the second one, and then the third one's kind of what put everything on the map. But nevertheless, that's something. Metro was one I've been recommended to for years to pick up, and I just can't really do it. I don't know why. It's on my list of things I wanted to read, but I never got a chance to do it. But like I said, back around to the Wattapad stuff, when I sit there and I look through people's book bios and why I should kind of read it, I just can't bring myself to do it. And I just can't really sit down and enjoy a lot of people's books because of how I approach books. And I can't really approach that community because I can't stand how some people are in that community. So, like I've said before, when it comes down to a community, we have to be open, we have to be welcoming, and we have to be diverse. But at the same time, it's like, it's hard to even get your foot in the door right now. That's what I'm starting to notice. I'm sick and tired of being the black sheep. I'm sick and tired of being silenced. I mean, I do want to build a community with you guys, and I do have no other place to go. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't like Tumblr because Tumblr is just a mess, and even with the not safe for work content, I still find it funny that they would rather ban that stuff than the other stuff that's on that platform that is just god-awful. And I feel like Wattapad's about to get even worse because of that, because of the Tumblr not safe for work content. It's gonna probably start moving over. There's also DeviantArt that start picking up some steam too. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys, because I'm currently working on the hashtag Pitbull or Pitmad, where you're pitching your books. At the same time, I'm also trying to wrap up a Velocity at the same time, and I'm also trying to get other stuff on this channel going. So far, I've only got one comment about the background, so I think you guys might like it. If not, I'll change it up. I might switch back to the old couch chair that I have, or I'll just work on my desk. Just tell me in the comments below, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.